So welcome back to the last video of this tutorial where we will be setting up the edit account page and conclude this build. So let's jump right into it. Okay, first things first is that we are going to make a slight adjustment on the data in request for our load logged in user details. So I've already went ahead and applied that. So basically I've put in a trigger for this, which triggers itself off on the edit account attribute. And just for context, the edit account attribute is essentially the wrapper that has the entire form in this. Yeah, that you see right here. So the reason why we're doing that is because when the page loads up, what we want to do is the load logged in user details contains the profile image, and also because profile image of the user that's currently logged in. So that's why we want to trigger this off. And then based on that, as you can see, there's this empty space here. Ideally, this would be the user's profile image. And that is if they have a profile image. And if they don't, we're going to hide that. But we are getting to that in a bit, and we'll set all that up on our actions. So that's that for data in. As far as data in requests are concerned, we don't have any for this page specifically. So, all right, then we are going to move on to data out. But with that being said, I'm going to create a new folder first. Edit account, create that, perfect. All right, so I have my notes off screen and it's telling me to create a data out request of upload profile image, which of course makes sense with what we need to do here. So we're going to use our file upload, and then we're going to use Wized for this, and this is going to be exactly the same as how we have it for our file upload functionality. We're going to put this into our edit account, and then after request, we're going to want to make sure that we perform a request. Oh, right, we perform a request, but we haven't created that request yet. So, okay, we'll just leave it at this. All right, I'm going to close that, and then what I'm going to do is create another request, which would be upload profile image to Airtable. So basically once the file upload is successful on the Wized server, we want to transfer that file straight into our Airtable. So that's what we're doing here. Database. Actually, we're not creating an item, we're updating an item. Okay, so the record ID is going to be coming in from our cookie that we have, which is the client record ID. There we go. That's coming from our client record ID right there. All right, and then we're going to create an after request of perform request only when this request is successful. 200. And we are going to execute our load logged in user details. Okay, so once that is done, I'm going to revert back to the upload profile image, and this is where we execute our upload profile image to Airtable. And it's conditional, of course. So let's put the code in here. When status code is 200. Okay, perfect. All right, now next on the list is that we're going to create another data out request for our first name and last name. So let's do that. So this is for the event where someone is modifying their first name or last name, or maybe both. Then we would want to execute this request here. So Airtable database, let's do this again. Update item. Client record ID. Okay, so first name is going to be from our input. Okay, input change first name, that's the one. And last name from here. So that sets our first name and last name. And after that is done, we will perform the request of load logged in user details only when this request is successful. Perfect. So we're going to close that. Oh, and need to assign it to our edit account. All right, now we are going to move on to the last data out request, which is going to be change password. And this, actually, you know what? I'm going to close this. What we're going to do is we're going to select our request for the Firebase custom REST API, and we're going to clone from this. Okay, perfect. Now the reason why we're cloning this is we also have a change password functionality that opens up this modal here. So when you enter in your changed password and then click on change, this is going to interact with Firebase, and that's how we end up changing the password. So that's what we're essentially doing here. So I'm going to change the authentication here to edit account so that we know that this belongs to edit account folder, and then rename this to change password. Okay, so for this, obviously, we're going to have to refer to our REST API documentation here for Firebase, and we are going to have to change this accounts update. So as you can see, here's the link. I'm going to share the link for this documentation on the description down below. All right, so here's the link. Accounts update. Let me just quickly check that. V1 accounts update. Yep, perfect. All right, so we have the key here, and then we have our header, which is going to be the same. Body, of course, there's going to be a change here, so let's see what it needs. Okay, so password and ID token. So we're going to assign that now. So for the first one, we're going to put in password, and for the second one, we're going to put in ID token. And for the password here, we're going to change that to input. We're looking for input change password. There we go, input change password. And then, oh, okay, yeah, all right, ID token. We're going to assign our cookie here for the ID token. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so we don't need any of that. Let me check my notes here. Nope. Okay, so there will be no after request. So all these are going to go. Perfect. So we're going to test this out in a bit. So we're going to test all of our data out requests as soon as we have tied in our actions. And speaking of actions, so let's wrap up here. So that's a wrap for our data out requests. So let's start building out our actions, with the first one being set upload image visibility. So for this one, we are going to select which attribute are we selecting? Profile image uploaded, and then we want to set its visibility. All right, only when Okay, so we're looking for a profile image URL data attribute. There we go, profile image URL. So only visible when if this data attribute exists, and if it doesn't, then we're just going to hide it away. If you remember correctly, this is coming from our load logged in user details. Additionally, what we're going to do is we're also going to set a HTML attribute as well. We're going to copy that and paste it in here, and then we're going to create another HTML attribute, which is going to be setting the source, and again, it's going to be the same exact value. Perfect. So that's done for our upload image visibility. All right, let's put this to the test. Perfect, it's working. Okay, let's close this. All right, so next on the list, we have trigger upload image. So this is for the file upload image button here. And this, we're going to trigger this on change, perform request, and there we go, upload profile image. Perfect, that has been assigned now. Now next on the list, we have show uploading image loader. So it's basically this right here. That's what we are going to set the visibility for. Upload image wrapper, and we want this to be visible when Airtable, when Airtable is uploading the image, that's when we want it to be visible, really. Actually, no, we're just gonna set it to 25. Yeah, that's the one. Is requesting. Yeah, we'll set it at that. Let's reload this. Okay, perfect. Now next on the list, we have change first name and last name. We're going to apply that to our input fields. Change account details trigger. It says button here that is going to trigger and send the first name last name over onto Airtable. So on click, we want to perform the request of change first name last name. There we go. All right, so next on the list we have show edit account success, which is going to be targeting this banner here, and we're going to target edit account success, set visibility, and it's going to be visible when change first name and last name has requested to true, and status code is 200. There we go. All right, so we're going to close this and move on to the next one. And for the next one on the list, we have show edit account error. And we're going to apply this to our edit account error. We're going to set the visibility for it. And now it's kind of difficult to produce Airtable error. So what we're going to do is change this to error here. And when in the event that it does come up with some kind of error, this is the data property that we'll be getting, which will, make this visible. So let's reload this page real quick. Perfect. Now next on the list, we have our, I want to close this, change password loader. So this is for the one over here, this loader right here. So let's select that, change password loader, and we're going to set its visibility. So we want this to happen when, of course, change password is requesting. Okay, just set it to true. Perfect. Let's close this. Then next on the list, we have change password success, where we'll be targeting the banner right here, the success banner. And let's change that to change password success. We are going to set this visibility to this request here, change password. Status code is 200 and has requested is true. And there we go. So let's reload that page real quick. All right, awesome. Now, next on the list, we have change password error. Actually, let me put that in quotes because it sounds confusing on its own. Change password error. So this is to set the visibility for our change password banner. So configuration, set visibility. I'm going to manually do this actually. Change password instead of status code. We're going to do, actually, I'm just going to copy this from the one that I have on my notes and just paste it in here. 28, and there we go. Awesome. So generally Firebase, you can reproduce the errors, but we're going to test all of these out in a bit and see if it's working. All right, now let's move on to the next on the list. Our next action we have is change password trigger. Change password button, and on click, we're going to perform a request of change password. Awesome. And then next on the list, we have change password error text. Oh, okay. So we're going to set the error for our error banner. All right. So let's select the attribute here. Error text. Set text. Plain text. And again, I'm going to copy this straight from my notes. And instead of 53, I'm going to change this to 28. There we go. All right, so that's a wrap on this one. Now, moving on to the next one on the list, we have edit account main loader, so which is the one over here. So we are going to choose edit account loader, and basically we are going to set this visibility to this one right here. When load logged in user details are loaded up completely, not loaded up, sorry, is requesting. So when it's requesting, true, only then it should show up. Perfect. There we go. Now lastly, we need to edit this here. So we're going to create that action. Set visibility to edit account wrapper. There we go, edit account. We are going to set its visibility. All right, so this is going to be visible when has requested is true and status code is 200. Let's reload that. Perfect. Okay, now let's test this out. Let's try with uploading our, actually, rather than uploading the image, what I'm going to do is head over to Client Portal and head into our clients here. And we have this image. I'm going to double click into this and delete that. So we don't have any image. So with that being said, I'm going to jump over here, reload our page and see what happens. So as you can see, we don't have the profile image. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to documents, select my own image here. Okay, so I did find the issue and basically it was my fault as always. Okay, so if I take you to the data out request of upload profile image, I forgot to put in fill this in basically. So if you remember correctly, when we upload the profile image onto the Wized server, we want the data that it returns, we want to attach that data URL into our Airtable. So that wasn't happening previously, so it is working now. So what we're going to do is we're going to reload the page. So it's working now. I'm going to repeat the test. So what I'll do is I'll click on this and delete the image. All right, and what we're going to do is reload the page again. Now we're going to upload the image. So it's working. All right, now moving on to the next test, we're going to do our first name, last name. So I'm going to change this to Sam Smith and click on Save Changes. Perfect. So it's been changed to Sam Smith. If I go back to the dashboard, let's see if the change is reflected there. There you go. Welcome, Sam. Awesome. So I'm going to go back to edit account here. All right, now time to change my password. Let's try changing it. Oh, credential too old, login again. Okay. Well, at least on the bright side, the error banner works. So what we're going to do exactly that. Click on log out. I wonder why the logout's not working. Okay, let me click on the dashboard. Okay, there we go. We've been logged out. Okay, so I need to look into the logout over there. All right, so let's try logging back in again. All right. Now, edit account, change password. Amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video here for a bit. Okay, so I just realized why the logout isn't working. That's because we need to set up our the access control for this page as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to target our edit account wrapper here, and then we're going to use the same exact logic that we used for our other attribute here, and then fallback page is auth login. So let's reload this page again, and if we were to click on logout, there we go, it works. And yeah, so that finally brings us to the end of this client portal build. So if there are any areas where you're stuck at with this build, please do let me know and I'll try my best to help you out. Also, it would be amazing if you take this build and modify it in other ways, then please do share that with me, as I would love to check out your work. Anyways, till then, take it easy and I will see you on the next build.